Hello students, in this video we are going to solve the textbook exercise for chapter number 11. The chapter name is Force and Pressure. Class 8, Subject Science, NCERT. So before starting the exercise, let me recall what we had seen in the previous videos of this chapter. So in this chapter we had seen that a push or a pull on an object is called a force. Then after we had seen that the strength of a force is expressed by its magnitude, and the symbol of force is F, and the unit of the force is Newton, which is denoted by the capital N. Then after we had seen that when two forces act on an object in the opposite directions, the resultant, or you can say net force, is equal to the difference of the applied force, and the direction of this resultant force is in the direction of the greater force. Then after we had seen that when two forces act on the object in the same direction, at that time the net force is equal to the sum of the two applied force, and it is in the direction of any one of the force. Then we had seen that when the direction and the magnitude of the force or both of them changes, then the effect of the force is also changes. The next we had seen that the state of motion of an object, it is described by the speed and direction of motion or by both of them. Then we had seen that an object may be at rest or in motion or both by its state of motion. Then we had seen that the force applied brings a change in the state of motion of any object, and the speed of an object increases if the force applied on that object is in the direction of motion of that object, and the speed of an object decreases if the force which is applied on the object is in the direction opposite to that at the motion of the object. Then after we had seen the other effect of force on the object, that the application of the force on an object change the shape of that object, and if the object is not able to move, then at that time the shape of the objects change. Then we had seen the different types of the force, that is the force can be of two types, that is contact force and non-contact force. In that first one we had seen about contact force. So contact force is that force which come in action only when two objects are in direct physical contact with each other. For example, muscular force, frictional force and mechanical force. Then after we had seen about these different contact forces in detail, that the force exerted by the muscles of the body, it is known as the muscular force. The force that opposes the motion of an object and arises due to the contact between the two surfaces, then it is known as the frictional force. And the force applied by a machine is known as the mechanical force. Then after we had seen another type of force, that is non-contact force. So the force acts from a distance without coming into direct contact with the object. It is known as the non-contact force. For example, magnetic force, electrostatic force, gravitational force, etc. Then after in detail we had seen about these different forces, that the force exerted by a magnet on another magnet or a magnetic material, it is known as the magnetic force. And the force exerted by a charged body on another charged body or another uncharged body, it is known as the electrostatic force. Then after we had seen about gravitational force, that every object in the universe attracts every other object towards itself, and this attractive force is known as the gravitational force. And the force with which the earth attracts the objects towards it is known as the force of gravity or gravity. And the force acting on a unit area of a surface is known as the pressure. And then after we had seen the formula of pressure. Other than that, SI unit of pressure is known as the Newton per meter square, because the unit of force is Newton and the unit of area is meter square. So the SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or you can say also Pascal. So the pressure is equal to force divided by area of surface on which this force is acting. Then after we had seen that if the area of the surface decreases on which the force is applied, then the pressure increases, and same like the vice versa. Then after we had seen that liquids do not have a definite shape, or you can say defined shape, and hence the pressure exerted by them depends upon the height of the liquid column or the liquid level. Then after we had seen that the liquids and gases exert pressure on the base of the container as well as on the walls of the container. And the envelope, or you can say cover of the air all around us, is known as the atmosphere, and the pressure which is exerted by this atmosphere on an object is known as the atmospheric pressure. Then after we had seen that the atmospheric pressure decreases with an increase in the altitude. That means if you are going into higher height, then this atmospheric pressure will decrease. So these are the things we had seen in this chapter. Now let me start the exercise of this chapter. So the first question is, give two examples each of the situation in which you push or pull to change the state of motion of object. You have to write the two examples in which we are pushing or we are pulling such that the state of motion of any object will get changed. So here the answer is hitting the ball coming to us and kicking to football. The first one, hitting the ball which is coming towards us. So in that the ball is in the motion, but by after hitting, the speed of the ball it gets changed. So that means the state of motion gets changed. In another case, that is kicking the football. So earlier it was at the rest might be. So after kicking the football, it will come into the motion. So again the state of motion is changed. So these are the two examples. Now next question is, give two examples of situations in which applied force causes a change in the shape of an object. When the force changes the shape of the object, so that kind of examples we have to write. The first one is stretching a rubber belt. By stretching a rubber belt, we can change the shape of the rubber belt. So it is the change, or you can say in this change we are applying the force. Next is reshaping clay to make the toys. We are changing the shape of the clay to make the toys, and in that also we are applying the force. So these are the two examples in which applied force causes a change in the shape of an object. Next is question number 3, that is fill in the blanks. In that first one is to draw water from a well, we have to blank at the rope. So here your answer is pull. We have to pull the rope, or you can say we have to apply the force. So here you can write pull as well as apply force also you can write. Next is a charged body blanks an uncharged body towards it. So here your answer is attracts. The charged body attracts an uncharged body towards it. So here your answer is attracts. Next is to move a loaded trolley, we have to blank it. So here the answer is push. You can write also pull. We have to push or pull the trolley to move it from one place to another place. Next one is the north pole of a magnet blank the north pole of another magnet. So here two poles are same, that is north, so they will repulse each other. So here your answer is repulse. And if the poles are different from each other, that means one is north and one is south, then it will attract each other. But here both of the poles are same, so the answer is repulse. So here your question number 3 gets over. Now next is question number 4. So the question number 4 is, an archer stretches her bow while taking aim at the target. she is stretching her bow and then release the arrow which begins to move towards the target, and based on this information fill up the gaps in the following statements using the following terms. Here some of the terms are given to you. You have to fill in the blanks using these brackets. The condition is given to you that an archer is stretching her bow and releasing the arrow. So what kind of forces she is applying over there here, so that you have to write in these blanks. So the first one is the blank is to stretch the bow, the archer applies a force that causes a change in its blank. So it causes the change in the shape of the bow. So here your answer is shape. By stretching the bow, we are changing the shape of the bow. So here your answer is shape. Next is the force applied by the archer to stretch the bow is an example of blank force. So here you can write contact force also, and you can also write the muscular force. Why? Because we are applying the force to stretch the bow. In that case there is the contact between our hand and bow, so that means it is the contact force, and we are applying the force with the help of our muscles also. So this is also an example of muscular force. So here you can write the contact force as well as muscular force also. Next is the type of the force responsible for the change in the state of motion of the arrow is an example of a blank force. This state of the motion after releasing, the state of motion of arrow will get changed. So what kind of force is there, or what kind of force we are applying over there. So here you can write muscular force as well as you can also write the contact force also. In that we are stretching the bow and we are releasing the arrow, that means we are applying the force using our muscles, and this one there is the contact between these two objects, so it is also a contact force. So you can write any one of them. Next is while the arrow moves towards its target, the forces acting on it are due to blank, and that due to blank of air. So here your answer is gravity and friction. While the arrow moving towards the target, the force is acting on that arrow is because of the gravity of the force earth, as well as, and there is also another force is there, that is frictional force with the air. So friction to the air. So these forces are acting over there. So here our question number 4 gets over. Now next is question number 5. So the question number 5 is, in the following situations, identify the agent exerting the force and the object on which it acts and state the effect of the force in each case. Here some of the situations are given to you. You have to identify the agent which exerts the pressure, that means the factors, or you can say the factor or by which this force is applying here, that you have to write. Then after we have to write about the object, that on which object we are applying this force, and in the last column you have to write what is the effect of this force. So now let me see the first situation. The first situation is squeezing a piece of lemon between the fingers to extract its juice. To extract, that means to get the juice. We are squeezing the lemon between our fingers to get the juice. So now here the answer is given to you. The first one in that agent, that means by which we are applying the force. So through fingers we are applying the force. So here the agent is fingers. Now the next object is lemon. On the lemon we are applying the force. So your object is lemon. Then after next is effect. What is the effect of this force? So juice is extracted by the force, or you can say the shape of the piece of lemon is changed and the juice squeezes out. So this is the effect of force on that object. Next situation is taking out paste from the toothpaste. What is the when we are pressing or taking out the paste from the toothpaste tube. So here now next agent is finger. Using our fingers we are taking out the toothpaste. The object on which we are acting the force or we are applying the force, that is toothpaste tube. Next is effect. What is the effect on the toothpaste tube? So toothpaste coming out by the force, or you can say the shape of the toothpaste tube is changed and the paste comes out from the tube. So this is the changes are occurring because of the force which we are applying. Next condition is a load suspended from a spring, or you can say the load which is hanged to the spring while it is its other end is on the hook which is fixed into the wall. One end of the spring is fixed into the wall and on the other end we had hang the load. So what are the changes and on which we are applying the force? So here the agent, that means agent exerting the force, the agent by which the force is acting. So the load exerting or applying the force on the object, that is spring, that means the load is applying the force on the spring and the effect of this force is expansion of spring. Because of this force the spring gets expand, or you can say the size of the spring get changed, it will increase. Next condition or next situation is an athlete making a high jump to clear the bar at a certain height. Athlete is making the jump to clear the bar. So here the factor which is applying the force, that is athlete, or you can also say the muscles of legs, because from that we are jumping. So muscles of the leg is agent which is applying the force. Now next is object on which we are applying the force. So you can write athlete's body. Athlete is applying the force on his body. But you can also say that on the floor we are also applying the force at the same time. And what is the effect? So athlete jump over the bar, or you can say the athlete's state of motion is changed or its direction is changed. So these are the some of the situation, the factor which is applying the force and the object on which we are applying the force and the different effects of these forces. So here your question number 5 gets over. Now next is question number 6. So question number 6 is, a blacksmith hammers a hot piece of iron while making a tool. How do the force due to hammering affect the piece of iron? While making the piece of iron, the blacksmith hammers this hot piece of iron while making the tool. So how this force affect due to the hammering, how this piece of iron will get affected by this force which we hammer through the hammer this blacksmith is applying. So the force due to hammering, the change the shape of the piece of iron. The change of the piece of iron will get changed because of the hammering or because of the force which this blacksmith is applying. So there is the change in shape is there in the iron piece. Next is 7th number. An inflated balloon was pressed against a wall after it has been rubbed with a piece of synthetic cloth. First we are rubbing the inflated balloon with the synthetic cloth, and then after we are pressing this ball against the wall. It was found that this balloon sticks to the wall. After pressing this wall towards the this balloon towards the wall, it will stick to the wall. So what force might be responsible for this attraction between this balloon and the wall? What is the force acting over there? So the force which is responsible for the attraction between the ball and the balloon, or you can say balloon and the wall, not here, not balloon, ball is not there, balloon is here. So attraction between the balloon and the wall, so the force acting over there is electrostatic force. Why it is occurring there, or why this force is acting over there? So when we rub the balloon by a synthetic cloth, it gets charged, and when it is taken near the wall, it will get attracted towards the uncharged body, that is wall, because of the electrostatic force, which is the force exerted by a charged body on the another uncharged body. We know that because of the electrostatic force, the charged body attracted towards the uncharged body. So when we rub the balloon, it gets charged, and while bringing this kind of balloon near the wall, this charged balloon will attract the uncharged wall. So that's why there is the attraction between these two objects, that is balloon and wall, because of the electrostatic force. Next is question number 8. Name the forces acting on a plastic bucket containing water held above the ground level in your hand. You are holding the bucket which is filled with the water. So what kind of forces are acting on that bucket, that you have to write and discuss why the forces acting on the bucket do not bring a change in its state of motion. Why there is no any change of state of motion on the bucket. So here now first let we see the name of the forces. So the force acting on a plastic bucket are, the first one in that is gravitational force. It is acting downwards. We know that because of the gravitational force, every object attracts towards the earth in the downward direction. So the gravitational force is acting on that bucket and it is in the downwards direction. Next, another force which is working on the bucket is muscular force, and it is applied by our hand to lift the bucket in the upward direction. We are holding, or our hand holds the bucket, so we are applying the muscular force which is applied by our hands to lift that bucket, and this force is in the upward direction. So now the question is that why the state of motion of this bucket cannot change. So although these forces are acting on the bucket, but no change is found in its state of motion. These two forces are acting on the bucket, but however there is no change in the state of motion of bucket, because the two forces are balancing each other, and as a result net force is 0. We know that the force or the effect of force which we can see on the object is because of the resultant or net force, but here the resultant force is 0. This both force is balancing each other, so that's why we can not see any change in state of motion of that bucket. Same like the game or the activity which we had seen in the chapter tug of war. In that we had seen that the two teams are pulling the rope towards each other, or they are pulling the ropes with the same balance, then at that time no team can win the game. So that's why, because there is the net force, or you can say balancing force is 0. This force balance each other, so that's why the net force or resultant force is 0. The same thing is there with in this case. Next question is question number 9. The question number 9 is, a rocket has been fired upward to launch a satellite in its orbit. While fixing the satellite in the orbit, a rocket is being fired in the upward direction to launch the satellite in the orbit. So now name the two forces which is acting on the rocket immediately after leaving the launching pad. Once the rocket leaves the launching pad, what are the forces are acting on that rocket? So here you have to write the names. So the two forces acting on the rocket immediately after it leaves the launching pad are, first one in that is friction force, that is due to air. The friction between the surface of rocket and the air. So frictional force is there. Next is force of gravity, and because of that this rocket pulls down in the downward direction. So this force pulling the rocket in the downward direction. So these two forces are acting on the rocket after it leaves the launching pad, that is gravitational force and frictional force. So this is the answer for 9th number. Next, last one is question number 10. So question number 10 is, when we place the bulb of a dropper with its nozzle kept in the water. In the medicine bottle you might have seen that the dropper is there with the bulb. So when we place this bulb with the dropper and its nozzle is in water, at that time air in the dropper is seen to escape in the form of bubbles. When we are pressing the nozzle, we can see that the bubbles are there in the water. That means the air is escaping from the dropper. So once we release the pressure on the bulb, water gets filled in the dropper. So this rise in water in the dropper is due to dash. When we are releasing the bulb, so at that time the water it will fill in the dropper. So because of what this water is filled in the dropper, or the rise in the water level in the dropper is because of what condition? So the options are pressure of water, gravity of earth, shape of rubber bulb, or atmospheric pressure. So here your answer is option number D, that is atmospheric pressure. Because of the atmospheric pressure on the water fills or water level rises in the dropper, and we get the water or medicine in the dropper after releasing the pressure on the bulb. So this is how the dropper is working. So here our textbook exercise for chapter number 11, that is force and pressure, gets over. This all exercise you have to write in your notebook. The extra exercise also you have to write in your notebook. You will find these PDFs in your study material. In the next video, we will study our next chapter, that is chapter number 12. So this exercise you have to write in your notebook, that is your homework. Thank you.